in fair Verona, where we lay our scene, from ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventured piteous overthrows do with their death bury their parents' strife. The fearful passage of their death-marked love, and the continuance of their parents' rage, which but their children's end does. Verona is under the control of two powerful rival families, the Montagues and the Capulets. Their feud is so bad that any member of the public caught fighting against the opposing family would be exiled from Verona forever. One day, Romeo Montague sneaks into the Capulets' party in disguise. He's hoping to catch a glimpse of Rosaline, a girl he's been admiring from afar, but his plans fall through because he ends up meeting another girl named Juliet, daughter of Lord and Lady Capulet. They hit it off right away and soon realize they're head over heels in love. However, they're too embarrassed to tell anyone about it, even themselves. So they secretly meet up in the night and exchange vows. Everything seems to be going well until Romeo's hot-headed friend Mercutio gets into a fight with Juliet's cousin Tybalt. During the brawl, Romeo tries to break things up, but accidentally stabs Mercutio. Enraged by his best friend's death, Romeo now wants to kill Tybalt. This makes Juliet furious because not only has her cousin just died, but she's just found out that Romeo is a Montague. In order to protect her family name, she tells Romeo to leave Verona forever, or else she will never speak to him again. With a heavy heart, Romeo flees. Meanwhile, Juliet's father has arranged for her to marry a man named Paris. She refuses and tells her dad that she only marries someone she loves. After hearing this, Lord Capulet becomes very angry and says if she doesn't marry Paris, then she can go ahead and move out. That's when Juliet goes to Friar Lawrence, who's a good friend of the family, and asks him for help. The friar gives her a potion that will make her seem dead for 42 hours. Then he sends a letter to Romeo explaining everything. But the letter never arrives. On the day of her wedding, Juliet drinks the potion, but Romeo never gets the letter telling him about it. Thinking she's really dead, he returns to Verona and sneaks into her tomb. There he finds Paris and challenges him to a fight. Paris refuses and both men end up dead. Juliet wakes up to find Romeo dead beside her, believing him to be the only one who could ever love her. She grabs his dagger and takes her own life. When Lord Capulet and the others arrive, they're shocked to find both young lovers dead. Finally, after all this bloodshed, the two families realize what a horrible mistake they made and vow to end their feud once and for all. You know how like every time I talk about the bard, I have to awkwardly address the fact that he wrote his plays in a completely different language than we use today? Well, don't worry, because this production is different. You can watch the show without having to listen to me awkwardly explain every other sentence. That being said, however, I still highly recommend watching the special features where the cast talks about how translating Shakespeare not only brings the play to a modern audience, but also reveals hidden meanings in the original text. Act 2, Scene 2 of Romeo and Juliet is widely considered one of the most romantic scenes in all of literature. It opens with Juliet standing at her window. She's just realized that the boy she fell in love with at the party is actually Romeo Montague, sworn enemy of her family. At first, she's really upset about this, but then she begins to question whether family should matter more than true love. Just then, Romeo appears below her window and begs her to say that she loves him back. At first, she jokingly pretends that she hates him, but then he mentions that her family name is Capulet, which makes her realize that he's not actually a Montague, because remember, they're not supposed to know each other's identity, so he's still pretending to be a nobody. When he tells her that he is willing to give up his last name in order to be with her, she finally admits that she loves him too, and the two pledge their undying love for each other. Then they agree to get married the very next day. The balcony scene in Romeo and Juliet was an instant hit when Shakespeare first performed it in 1597. Even people attending the premiere knew that there was something special happening on stage and took note of the balcony scene in their reviews. For centuries since, actors playing Juliet have had to deal with balcony scenes being one of the most difficult parts of the play to perform. Every actress wants to deliver a great performance and also do justice to one of the most famous scenes in literature. Who are you? What are you doing here? How did you get in here? What are you doing in my garden? What business is it of yours how I got in your garden? If you won't let me in, why did you come to see me? To tell you plainly, I do not like you. You are a vile interconstraint. I hate you. But I love you, and that is more than reason can ever find out. I do not care. My only love sprung from my only hate. Too early seen, unseen, too long, too late. So soon as it was, so late in coming. Ah, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father, and refuse thy name. Or if thou wilt not, why should I be a Capulet? What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other word would smell as sweet. Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Oh, be someone else, someone who isn't a Montague, because that's the only thing keeping us apart. Oh, Romeo, why must you be a Montague? Why can't you just be born into a different family? Why can't you just change your name? I would not be a Capulet. Now, Juliet's famous line, "What's in a name?" is often misquoted as "What's in a name?" That's what I am. In the original text, Juliet is literally asking, what is the significance of names? Would a rose smell less sweet if it didn't have the name Rose? The answer, of course, is no. Names are arbitrary and hold no real meaning. So why can't she be with Romeo simply because of his last name? In addition to challenging societal norms, Juliet is also calling out her own family's behavior by saying, I would not be a Capulet. She's basically saying, screw this family and their stupid feud. It's a very strong statement to make, especially considering that Juliet is just a teenager. This shows how deep her love for Romeo really is. She would rather be disowned by her entire family than give up on their love. Unfortunately, Romeo doesn't receive this message and instead thinks that she's rejecting him because of his name, so he ends up hanging himself. If you want to learn more about Romeo and Juliet, you should definitely check out some of the videos linked below. Act 3. Scene 1 of Romeo and Juliet is the scene where Mercutio and Tybalt get into a fight that ends with Mercutio's death. Immediately after this, Romeo appears and demands that Tybalt take his life. Now, those familiar with the story know that this is the point of no return. Once Romeo kills Tybalt, he's essentially doomed. And sure enough, Prince Aeschylus shows up and banishes Romeo from Verona forever. But have you ever wondered why Romeo even decides to fight Tybalt in the first place? After all, Romeo is known for being a pacifist throughout the play, and in Act 1 he even says, "I do not first begin to quarrel, nor do I seek to change a quarrel begun." So what changes? Well, according to literary critics, it all has to do with his emotions. Romeo's logic is overtaken by his feelings. When he finds out that Mercutio has died, he feels grief, anger, and above all, a desire for revenge. Because of this, he acts in a way that he knows will cause him nothing but trouble in the future, and he's aware of this. He says, "Oh, I am fortune's fool." After killing Tybalt, he knows that he's made a big mistake. From the beginning of the play, Friar Lawrence is portrayed as a kind, wise, and helpful man. He's always trying to bring people together and make them happy. And he sees Romeo and Juliet's love as an opportunity to end the feud between the Montagues and the Capulets. So when the two lovers tell him that they want to get married, he agrees immediately. Although some critics believe that he makes a huge mistake by marrying the two, because it ultimately leads to their demise, I think he genuinely believes that he's helping their situation. Remember, he's a man of God who's dedicated his life to helping people. Plus, look at all the other failed attempts to end the Montague-Capulet feud. The Prince, Lord Montague and Lord Capulet have all tried and failed to put an end to it. So why would Lawrence's plan be any different? Hello, friends. I'm an actor and director living in New York City. I graduated from a conservatory program and have been performing Shakespeare around the country for a number of years. I currently perform with a notable company. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can catch our next upload.